Okay, I want you to forget everything you think you know about business strategy. Seriously. Because by 2026, the rules of the game, they're going to be completely different. The playbooks that got us here, well, they're pretty much obsolete. So how do you win in this brand new era? We're about to break down the new playbook, step by step. It really is a triple threat, isn't it? You've got these relentless cost pressures on one side, then the undeniable impacts of climate change on the other. And right in the middle, you've got technology accelerating at this, absolutely breakneck speed. So the question isn't just about survival anymore. It's about how the smartest companies out there are literally tearing up the old rulebook to not just get by, but to completely dominate.
So what are we really up against here? Well, it's not just one single thing. It's more like a perfect storm of interconnected pressures, a convergence of crises that is testing the limits of businesses like never before. Let's really dig into what that storm looks like.
Get a load of this number, 88%. 88% of commercial properties are underinsured. I mean, just think about that for a second. With building costs set to jump another 15% in the next 5 years, this isn't just some minor risk. It's a ticking financial time bomb, a massive vulnerability in a world that's already incredibly expensive. And it's not just coming from one direction. Leaders everywhere are fighting battles on so many fronts. You look at Australia, it's rising costs and a mountain of red tape. You look at the UK, it's totally unpredictable supply chains and more extreme weather. So this isn't a local problem, right? It's a global web of challenges that are all tied together. So, how in the world do you fight a storm like this? The answer is a huge fundamental shift in mindset. We're talking about a proactive pivot. It's all about moving away from constantly putting out fires and instead building something that's fireproof from the get-go. It's about future-proofing your entire operation. And here's the proof that this pivot is happening right now as we speak. The number of organizations that are just stuck in that reactive break-fix mode, it is plummeted by 57% in a single year. And why is that? It's because that old model of just waiting around for something to fail is simply too expensive and way too unpredictable in this new reality. The whole game is shifting towards a more controlled, more strategic approach. This quote, this just cuts right to the heart of it. This whole proactive pivot isn't about guesswork. It's about trust. And that trust is built on a solid foundation of data. When your operations team can walk in and show the numbers, they're not just asking for a budget anymore. No, they're making a rock-solid case for a strategic investment in the future. Putting these two side by side really drives the point home. The old way is kind of like being in a rowboat in a storm, just desperately trying to stay afloat. It's short-sighted, it's chaotic. The new way? It's like being the architect of a massive bridge with a long-term strategic plan. In fact, we're seeing a 55% jump in organizations adopting these 5-year plans, connecting their day-to-day data to a real long-term financial strategy. They're not just reacting anymore, they're anticipating. But how do you actually do all this, How do you make this proactive strategy a reality? Well, the answer is technology. Specifically, it's AI and connected systems that are the real tactical tools making this new playbook possible at scale. And listen, this isn't science fiction. This is happening right now. Operators are ditching the old spreadsheets for tools just like this. AI is giving teams the incredible ability to see around corners, to predict needs before they even become problems, to optimize everything from vehicle routes to energy use, and to automate decisions that used to take hours and hours of manual work. Let's make this super concrete with a real-world example. Let's take managing aircrew transport. First, AI predicts demand by crunching all the historical flight data. Then, it optimizes routes in real time, factoring in traffic and weather to save fuel and cut down on delays. And finally, it adapts on the fly, dynamically reassigning vehicles and drivers the second a flight gets delayed. It's this continuous predict, optimize, adapt loop that turns a logistical nightmare into a super smooth operation. And hey, don't think for a second this is just some niche trend for a few big companies. Look at these adoption rates. We're talking 68% of organizations implementing IoT, 56% using AI, and 55% leveraging digital twins, which are basically these super detailed virtual models of a physical system. These aren't just buzzwords anymore. They are the new standard tools in the modern operational toolkit. And we're seeing this stuff pop up everywhere for all sorts of things. In Germany, AI-powered smart HVAC systems are becoming essential for retrofitting buildings to hit those ambitious net zero targets. In Barcelona, AI is managing city traffic to cut down on congestion. And for a giant like UPS, it's optimizing routes to save millions of miles and gallons of fuel. The technology is incredibly flexible, and the impact is universal. So, what's the big takeaway here? What does all of this add up to? Well, it's about building a much more resilient future. And this new playbook, it's giving us the blueprint for exactly how to get there. So here they are, the 3 new rules for resilience. First, connect finance and facilities. You have to turn that operational data into budgets you can actually defend. Second, embed sustainability not as some side project, but as a core part of your strategy. And third, and this is a big one, make prediction mandatory. Don't just prevent failure, use your data to anticipate it. This quote just perfectly captures the scale of this transformation. For the organizations that are making this shift, it is not just a small step forward. No way. It's a monumental leap from an outdated, inefficient past into a much smarter, more predictive future. Which leaves us with one final thought to chew on. We've seen how technology is rewriting the rules for business operations. But as our systems get more and more intelligent, more autonomous, it raises a new critical question. What does all this mean for the people involved? And are we truly prepared for the future of work that we are creating so rapidly?